And what would you say is your primary medium?
Watercolor. I really like watercolor, stained glass, and acrylic and oil. So way back in high school, they used to give you an aptitude test to see what you were good for. And for me, they said you'd make a good artist or a good architect, and I didn't take their advice. And then 50 years later, I lost my job, and I went, whoa, you got to do something, Gary. So I went down to the local art store. Terry was still at Boise Blue in those days, down next to McCall Sports. And then I figured I better get some lessons. So there was a wonderful professor from Boise State called Roland Giampoli, but he had paint and draw on Cassius Street. And I met so many wonderful people in art class. So after the traumatic experience of losing a job, I put my focus on art. Art not only pulled me out of my funk, it threw a rope down the hole, to paraphrase Das Energies. I climbed out and started a new business. And I'm happy to say 10 or 12 of my family are running that business today. So art was a lifesaver for me. Probably always has been, but certainly then it was. Just looking around, driving around this town, there's so much history. Alexa Rose offers a wonderful opportunity to artists once or twice a year. And I put in for a road trip just to go around and paint some of the old buildings, theaters, bridges we grew up with before they change. You know, I'm not opposed to change, but it's kind of nice seeing a little history before it does change. And I think artists can grab that. They can grab that, they can put life to it, and somebody will go, oh my God, I remember when I jumped off that bridge when I was a kid, or I caught a fish under there, or I was showing off for my girlfriend and I about drowned. So, you know, good stuff. When I got fired in 2000 is when I decided to just start doing it. So that's 21 years. So many opportunities, and like Scott Peck said in A Road Less Traveled, if somebody says, gee, I wish I could do that, I would say you can do that. It just takes time. Just sit down and do it. Everybody can paint, everybody can draw. We're all creative beings, so try it, you'll like it. Well, I'm retired. So I always got up early in the morning. I like coffee. I like to read a newsprint newspaper. I like to walk the dog. I like to play an hour worth of guitar, and then I like to do an hour worth of yoga. Then after I get that out of the way, I have a free day, and you can only read so much. So I choose art, or art chooses me, and I'm very fortunate in probably doing 2 or 3 paintings or 2 or 3 pieces of art a week, because I enjoy it and I like to see what's going to come out. John Killmaster always said, plan out your painting, look at your composition, figure out what you want to do before you do it. And sometimes I take that advice and sometimes I don't. But still good advice, John. Thank you. No. No, in fact, I'm reminded of Pissarro. Pissarro was a teacher to Cezanne and so many more of the Impressionists. He couldn't use his arms. So he tied brushes, or he couldn't use his hands. He tied brushes to his arms to paint until his final days. And I hope that I have a little Pissarro in me. Namaste. Thank you, Morgan.